we are back at it again. Time for another fun weekend at Cedar Point. We just finished packing and now we have a few minutes to relax before we go. So why don't you come along with me again this weekend and ride some coasters, eat some great food, and have an amazing time at Cedar Point. Just like last time, we're packing lots of food. I've got my breakfast down in here somewhere. I have a bagel with some strawberry cream cheese and then an apple and a ton of snack bars and other snacks. I swear we're only going away for 2 days, but I feel like we used up all of our snacks last time, so I packed some extra just in case. And then we've got our entertainment bag. My other bag broke, unfortunately, so I've got my Lego Masters bag. But books, DVD player, tablet, Switch, planner, stuff like that. So now we just have to wait for my parents to show up and then we can go. So we did a lot of things in our last Cedar Point trip, and I will link that video down below so it's not like duplicate stuff all in here. But we live about 3 hours away, so we got there around 8 a.m. so we could get there in time for the early access at 9. Now, we did not ride Steel Vengeance last time, so we knew that this weekend we wanted to ride it. Now, Steel Vengeance is their newest ride. Huge roller coaster. They converted Mean Streak, the roller coaster, into that. And there is always like a 2 or 3 hour wait. So the only way to ride it is to get on at like 9 o'clock if you don't want to wait that long. So we got in line, and unfortunately it was down for maintenance and they didn't know when it would be up and running. So we stood in line for a short while and then decided we were going to try again the next day. But look at that thing. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to ride it. So we decided instead, John and I, to get on Millennium Force. My parents had Allison. They were riding stuff with her, while John and I got on this one. We actually walked through a different part of Cedar Point that we didn't go through last time. It has a petting zoo and all that. Now, thankfully, because of the early access, we were able to get on Millennium Force pretty quickly, within like 10 minutes instead of like the 90 minutes that it usually is. Oh yes, so is our daughter. After that, Allison decided she wanted to try a couple of new rides, including the Mine ride, which is a roller coaster. This is kind of like the next step up from the kiddie coasters. So at Kings Island, they have Adventure Express, which is kind of like a step up from some of the kids coasters there. This Mine ride is basically the same thing. It's just a wooden roller coaster. It doesn't go very high at all, doesn't go very fast, but Allison went on it and she actually really enjoyed it. Yes, I would not wait this long for that ride.
What is it you have to scan?
Next up, we rode a couple of things in the kids area, including the spinny one, which I talked John into doing. Next up was lunch. Now, Allison is a very selective eater, so she usually gets some sort of pizza and breadsticks. So we had to go to one end of the park to get her pizza and breadsticks while we walked to sort of the other end of the park, just a few minutes away, to get to the barbecue place. Now, there's 2 barbecue restaurants in here. The one we went to last time was not very good because they had absolute zero selections. But this one right here, you can get like half of a rotisserie chicken, you can get pulled pork, smoked sausage, I think even like fried shrimp or something. They have different side items. So baked beans, french fries, coleslaw, macaroni and cheese. It's awesome. It's pretty easy to eat relatively healthy at this place. So I ended up getting smoked sausage with baked beans, and it also comes with a delicious corn muffin. And I got like a barbecue sauce and a Carolina mustard sauce. After lunch, we decided to go to one of the newer areas, which we did not visit last time because it was not open, and that would be the Forbidden Frontier. This is something new they built a couple years ago, and it is like a giant play area for the kids, like a McDonald's play place, but all outside, huge. Kids and grown-ups alike can go in there and play. The only issue is that you have to walk just about a half mile through these winding paths in order to get back there. So there's a couple of things that you pass along the way. There's like some little rafts, like a ride or something you can ride like in between all of that. And then the sidewalks, actually, this area used to be where the dinosaur exhibit was. So the sidewalk still has dinosaur prints and stuff on it. It's pretty awesome. But this is a really nice place to stay, like if the kids don't want to wait in line for the rides and just don't want to ride anything, they can come up here and burn off a ton of energy. Now it was cloudy this day, but it was also like 85 degrees, and guess who she roped into chasing after her? Somewhere around 1 o'clock, we decided to go back to the cabins. Now, I didn't really show the inside of this one because it is the exact same thing as the one we went to a couple weekends ago. And like I said, that video is down below if you wanted to rewatch that one, but it was the same thing. The only difference was that my sister and her fiance did not come with us, so there were 5 of us in this big cabin instead of 7. We spent a couple hours just hanging out, relaxing in the air conditioning. Now, the cool thing about Cedar Point is that they have little buses that will take you to different entrances in the park. So they picked us up at like the cabin office area, and then they drove all around all the way to the front of the park for us. That probably would have been like a 20 to 25 minute walk, but it only took a couple of minutes and less effort to do it this way. While we were at the front of the park, we rode a couple of little things. The kids' carousel right here, the bumper cars. I think we may have done like 1 or 2 other rides over here. And then at that time, it was dinner time. Now we went to this place the last weekend we were here, which was Hugo's Italian Kitchen. It's got the pasta, pizza. So again, I got the pepperoni stromboli. That thing was huge, with a side salad. And then Allison got some pasta with Parmesan cheese and some bread. They also have little like personal pizzas. This place is amazing. I like to go every single time we go to Cedar Point. And then I wanted some sort of a treat. And their sweet shop has so many different items. They have homemade cookies, dipped pretzel rods, Buckeyes, and some huge Rice Krispie treats, which you'll see here in a minute. I opted to get one of their big brownies, which I ate later at the cabin. But look at those Rice Krispie treats. I almost got one of those. They also have homemade fudge in many different flavors. I think I've had their orange cream before, and I think I've had their peanut butter, but they'll make like special flavors like for different occasions. I think they may have had like a celebration one, because Cedar Point is actually celebrating 150 years of being open as of 2020. But their fudge, it really is super good. Because they were celebrating, they had a couple different shows that would play. They also had a parade that was going on at 8:45 that night, but we don't stay out that late, so we ended up not seeing it, but the stage looked pretty cool at least. After that, we got on the train. They have a train just like Kings Island does, but Cedar Point has like some cute little things that you can watch along the way. Yes. That was not fun. Oh, here we go.
Your dad's funeral parlor.
Ooh, that's not fun.
He's fishing. Allie. He's fishing.
Caught something.
Is mine ride over there.
And then Allison wanted a treat. So she saw these funnel cake fries at the beginning of the day, and she's like, oh, I know, that's what I want today. So we finally got her some. And at that point, it was like 6:30, almost 7 o'clock. So we went back to the cabin. She enjoyed her funnel fries. I enjoyed my brownie. And then we settled in for a nice, quiet evening. It has been quite an evening, to say the least. So, got ready for bed and everything, put Allison to bed, and not 5 minutes later, she came down the stairs and threw up. Just everywhere. Oh my goodness. So, I'm pretty sure she just had so much food yesterday with the funnel fries, that huge container. And then she had like a huge bag of like crackers before bed. Probably that with all the rides and stuff. Her poor stomach. So she ended up sleeping downstairs instead of like in that little loft upstairs on a futon, and I slept down there with her just in case. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it was just all the food, because she woke up this morning and she was just fine. So got my coffee this morning, and then we're gonna head back out to the park. Really gonna try to hit up Steel Vengeance this morning. Hopefully it is working. We don't have to wait an hour for it. It'll be a good morning. It was either now or never. We had to get on Steel Vengeance. So John and I got in line, and we actually were a tiny bit closer to the front of the line than we were the day before. Now, they still told us it was going to be a bit of a wait, because I guess the ride takes a little while to warm up. So we waited in line for about 40 minutes, which really was not that bad. But finally around 9:40, 9:45, they started to let us through. Now the thing about Steel Vengeance is that you cannot bring anything with you on the ride. So they have lockers right before you go up to the train. There are these lockers where you get on the computer, you put in like your birth date and a passcode, and you put your phones and stuff in that locker. Then when you get off the ride, you go back to the locker and pick it up. It's kind of a pain, but it is really handy and a nice thing that they do so you can actually, be entertained on your phone while you're waiting for 2 hours to ride this thing. I don't think I would ride 2 hours for this, but let me tell you, it was definitely worth the 40 minutes. Next up, Allison wanted to be really brave, and she told us she wanted to ride Magnum XL, which is another large roller coaster. Not quite as big as Millennium Force, the one that she rode last time, but it's still really, really tall. And I like the ride, but I wasn't quite sure how she would do on it. I was honestly pretty nervous for her. Alright, so you just got off Magnum. What did you think?
I loved it.
You loved it?
Yes.
And you said you would do it again?
Yes.
Just not today?
Not today.
Okay.
There goes the train.
And then another new roller coaster for her. She wanted to try Gemini. Gemini is another wooden coaster, and this is like a twin dual coaster. There's a red train and a blue train that go at the same time, and they kind of race each other, kind of like the racers at Kings Island. She's wanted to try this one, but the lines have always been too long when we've gone, but thankfully it had just opened back up after being down for a little bit, so they pretty much walked right on. How was it?
Did you love it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're such a big girl now, aren't you? So, what do you think of Magnum?
I love it.
You loved it?
Yeah.
You gonna ride the monster with me? Your favorite ride now?
Look, airplane. It's in my top favorites.
Okay. What part did you like the best?
The way down on the hill.
Really?
Yeah.
What part did you like the worst?
The tunnels.
The tunnels?
It was a little too warm in there.
And the big hill going up and up and up?
Yeah, that scared me.
Oh,
Like,
man.
Okay, if this keeps going up, I know how long it's going to be. Oh no! It's no biggie at all.
No biggie at all?
No biggie at all.
So proud of you. High five.
Because they were having their 150-year celebration, I wanted to get some souvenirs because I knew we wouldn't be back again this year. So I got one of those coffee mugs down there because I'm obsessed with new coffee mugs. I also got some of those little buttons right here, and Allison wanted a thimble. So I got her a thimble that had the 150 years on it. But it was a nice little way to kind of celebrate going to Cedar Point. Right after that, it was lunchtime. John and I wanted macaroni and cheese. We got Allison some Subway. We went back to the Mac Shack. This place, if you didn't watch my last video, it's basically like Chipotle, only mac and cheese, where you get this huge bowl and you can put like a protein on it and a couple different cold toppings. Now look at that big chunk of cheddar. This guy had the macaroni and cheese in there, like mixing the cheese up in it. I have never seen that before. That was so awesome, and I regret not being able to take a video of that. It was really, really cool. I ended up getting, let's see, I think it was shredded chicken along with some jalapenos and tomatoes, a little bit of coleslaw, and then they asked me if I wanted a side of coleslaw or chips to go with it, which they didn't ask me that last time, so all right, I got some extra coleslaw. And then, unfortunately, it was time to leave. Now, we were at the very front of the park. We had to go to the back of the park. So it was seriously almost a mile. I think it was about 0.7 miles. It took about 10 or 15 minutes to do it, but after a huge carby lunch like that macaroni and cheese, we definitely needed to kind of walk it off a little. We are exhausted, but we made it home. We got home around 4 o'clock on Sunday night and then pretty much went straight to small group after that. So now like the next few days is gonna be full of doing laundry, getting all sorts of cleaning done and things like that. So the thing about vacations is that when you come back, you have a lot of stuff you need to do. I'm also not sure that we're going back to Cedar Point again this season, which is fine because we have lots of Kings Island trips planned and then a huge week-long trip in July with Carowinds and King's Dominion. So you'll get to see a whole lot more awesomeness then as well. So in the meantime, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and ring that bell, and that way you'll be notified when all those videos come out, as well as my other grocery hauls, recipes, and meal planning tips. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you later. Did you know I offer one-on-one nutrition coaching? Whether your goal is to lose weight, eat healthier, or just want to know how to get started, I can help. You can schedule a free weight loss discovery call by using the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to chat with you.